I slapped at a mosquito on my neck as I trudged along the muddy, wooded path. It had rained the night before, forcing me to pick my way around the sodden leaves and rocks. The air was thick with the odor of wet bark and damp decay. The day was hot and humid, which wasn't unheard of in Wisconsin in July, but it would have made my normal 5-mile circuit through the various surrounding neighborhoods very uncomfortable. Canceling my walk wasn't an option, so I went with the next best thing, a hike near the lake where the trees overhead would at least offer some relief from the sun. It did nothing for the humidity, though, as my frizzy hair could attest. I was covered with sweat, my t-shirt and jean shorts sticking uncomfortably to my skin. I was never much of a hiker. Actually, I was never even much of a walker. Growing up in New York City, I took a lot of taxis or rented cars. If I wanted exercise, I went to the gym. Since moving to Redemption, Wisconsin a year ago, I no longer needed the gym. Cleaning the large, rambling house I lived in and caring for the massive garden in my backyard required quite a significant amount of energy and physical exertion. It was more than enough to keep me active. It wasn't until this summer that everything changed. I could even pinpoint the exact moment it happened, the day Penny died. That was the day that turned my life upside down, even though I hadn't realized it at the time. In retrospect, though, I could see how Penny's death was the catalyst for everything that turned my life to crap. From Wendy and Jill and Zane and the 1888ers and Eleanor to the Church of the Forgotten and all the rest of it. So now, I walked. Unlike gardening and cleaning, walking allowed me to escape. And that's all I wanted to do. Escape my house, my relationships, my life, all of it. At first, I tried spending more and more time in the garden, thinking it would at least get me out of the house and away from everyone. Gardening had always grounded me, too. Spending time with my hands in the rich dirt and focusing on helping things grow was therapeutic. But then my roommate, Mia, started setting up her computer in the backyard on the little outdoor table. She said she just wanted to get some fresh air. Between her job at Aunt May's and her online college classes, she was spending way too much time indoors. If this had happened before Penny died, I would have welcomed her company. We could have chatted and laughed for hours. I would have made a fresh pitcher of lemonade each morning, and we would have spent the day drinking and enjoying conversation. It would have been wonderful. Instead, it was more stressful than if I'd just stayed inside and cleaned. Mia and I rarely talked anymore. Our conversations mainly consisted of her asking me a lot of questions, especially around how I was feeling or sleeping, or if I had seen anything strange around the house. And if she wasn't asking me questions, she seemed to just watch me, something she spent a lot of time doing when we were outside. Pretty much every time I stood up to take a break from weeding, I would see her eyes on me. Sometimes she would quickly duck her head down, as if pretending not to, which just made what she was doing even more obvious. If I questioned her about it, she would tell me I was being silly or paranoid. One time, she asked me who else I thought was watching me when I was in the garden. I knew she still didn't believe me about any of it. The girl in the woods. That Jill was real and had been kidnapped. What I had heard in the Church of the Forgotten's barn. She didn't think any of it was real. Now, to her credit, it wasn't like she believed I was lying about it or trying to manipulate anyone. At best, she thought I had been mistaken or had misinterpreted what I had seen and heard. At worst, she thought my mind was leading me down a dark path again. Hence why she kept such a close eye on me. Even though I knew she had my best interest at heart and was doing everything out of love, it didn't suppress my anger, or the constant stream of thoughts reiterating that, as my friend, she should have believed me. She should have listened to me. She should have been on my side. That was when I decided to take up walking. When I was walking, I didn't have to be reminded of how little she trusted me.